I have signed a contract in which I give myself to you, in which I admit the fact my loyalty is forever true. Danger, misery, and hope for few are the simple things that come along the contract too. Loyalty is regularly seen and treated as a virtue, but a very problematic one. Being loyal to someone like your partner, your friends, or your family is something many people value. There is a thin line that splits good loyalty from bad loyalty, and staying on the good side is essential for your own well-being, as the bad side of absolute loyalty brings danger and sometimes even death. The events of Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, take place during the end of the 16th century in Japan. The samurai code Bushido was established during this time period, which the samurai lived and died by. The values of the code stood firm, one of the most important being loyalty. The focus of loyalty for the samurai was mainly on self-sacrifice and being unconditionally faithful to their masters. In fact, the word samurai is thought to come from the word subarau, which translates to the one who serves their lord. To understand the relevance of loyalty in this age of Japan, it is important to realize that the samurai were the highest order of warriors. Being a samurai was being the owner of a title and the member of a high social class. The Bushido Code was the way this high class lived and became very valued in Japanese society. Now, Sekiro is not a samurai. He is a shinobi or a ninja. He does not live by a code, he fights dirty and he doesn't care for honor. But he appears to value loyalty still. This particular value of Wolf is very deeply embedded into his character, largely due to his upbringing. In the opening cutscene to Sekiro, we see Wolf getting adopted by Owl on the battlefield. He has the boy trained by Lady Butterfly in Usui's Forest of Mist and Illusions. Wolf turns into a master shinobi, just like Owl, whom he now calls his father. Wolf grows up with the Iron Code, a very important set of rules that decide the story of Sekiro, consisting of the following three. 1. The parent is absolute. Their will must be obeyed. 2. The master is absolute. You give your life to keep him safe. You bring him back at any cost. 3. Fear is absolute. There is no shame in losing one battle, but you must take revenge by any means necessary. Growing up, Wolf only lives for obedience and to fight for his parents, as the Iron Code has taught him. He is loyal to Owl, the way Genichiro is loyal to the Ashina clan. Genichiro Ashina is the first boss we fight in Sekiro, and fittingly also the last. He was born to a peasant mother during the rebellion led by Ishin Ashina. After her death, he was adopted by the Ashina clan and became one of their best swordsmen and leaders. He is the only known student of Tomoe, mastering the art of Tomoe's lightning. Genichiro loves his clan and is willing to go very far to preserve Ashina. As an invasion by the Interior Ministry looms, he decides on pursuing heretical arts to make sure he can withstand their attack. He is not confident in the power of his army, and therefore turns to the power that Kuro holds. the divine heir's gift of immortality. Using this, he hopes he can replace Ishin Ashina's power, who has become weak due to his age and illness. Genichiro is so loyal to his clan he is willing to sacrifice his humanity and personhood to preserve it as best he can. This absolute loyalty to a dying cause is what eventually leads to his death. One might be able to accept the death of Genichiro by understanding his position and his justified loyalty to his clan. This can't be said for Wolf, or Owl for that matter. Owl is a shinobi, and unlike samurai, shinobi do not care for chivalry and honor. Despite this, Owl raised Wolf to live by a code of honor that resembles the Bushido code of the samurai. He did this not because he cares so much about honor, but because he uses his power and fatherhood to manipulate Wolf into living by the Iron Code. Owl desperately wants the power of immortality for himself. He tries to use Wolf as a puppet to do the dirty work for him and obey him in blind loyalty. Owl embodies the danger and corruption of loyalty in Sekiro, as he abuses his power and tries to kill his loyal tool the moment he has become unnecessary. The best example of the negative effects of Wolf's absolute loyalty is of course the Shura ending. In Sekiro, becoming Shura essentially means that you only live your life in search of the next thing to cut down, being blood drunk and crazed for the rest of time. The only way to become Shura is by following the Iron Code, or in other words, continuing your absolute loyalty to Owl. In doing so, Wolf loses everyone and everything, in total contrast to endings where you are not loyal to Owl. The Shura ending cuts the game short and completely ruins the character development of Wolf. The biggest part of his development is when he chooses loyalty to his master, and that's the key word, chooses. The only identity Wolf had before this interaction was being a servant to Owl, and when he chooses Kuro, he becomes an entirely new person. Wolf chooses to walk on the good side of the loyalty line, by looking at his options, disobeying the Iron Code and eventually reaching a better ending for himself. The virtue of loyalty is one of great importance in the Sengoku period of Japan, being embedded into Bushido code and Japanese values. Loyalty proves to be good in real life too, as long as we are loyal for good reason and loyal in a good way. Wolf has the choice to change the way he lives his life and make sure he does loyalty the right way, but Shura and Genichiro lose everything due to it. A problematic virtue leads to problematic events, beautifully showcased in the masterpiece of a game called Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice.